for us. Please.
Thank you.
What is called the Arab Spring has obviously caused a tsunami of protests. As many as 17 Arab countries. Some are in civil war, Libya and Yemen. Some are trying to adapt, Bahrain, Syria, Morocco, and two have fallen down, Tunisia and Egypt. And when my friend Dr. Abdelaziz asked me to talk about Egypt, I remember that my Tunisian friends usually get cross and say, we have started the whole thing and everybody talks about Egypt. My answer to that, it is true. Tunisia is the birthplace, the trigger of the Arab Spring. But Egypt, with its 84 million people, is the landscape and the prize. Where Egypt will go, I think the region will go. And hence, perhaps I'll raise 3 or 4 points about after the revolution, uprising. My students of AUC like to call it revolution. If I don't use the term revolution, they feel insulted. So, after what happened on January 25th, where is Egypt and the rest of the Arab world could be going? And perhaps I raise 4 points. Usually, as a Gulf Research Center, we have lots of food for thought. And I thought that I'd give thought for food with the 4 points. One, the element of governance. You have the collapse of the regime, and in Egypt now, you have at least a problem of duality of authority. You have a cabinet that is supposed to manage the country, تسيير الأعمال. But the real power is in the 19-member military council. And there is there problem sometimes of improvisation, inconsistency, lack of coordination. So that is a first problem that Egypt in that revolutionary situation has to solve. Second problem, rebuilding social capital, rebuilding trust between government and people that has been at a very low level and continues to be. And hence, the first issue is to try to regain the trust. And it seems to me one important aspect in this respect is fair and speedy trials for the symbols of corruption that have been there in the country before. Number 3, challenge number 3, the economy. After the revolution, there has been another revolution of rising expectations. People are expecting too much. With the high level of expectations, you have a low level of productivity. You have the sit-ins, the strikes, flight of capital, and at the same time, people are expecting more money. Egypt is a poor country. 40% of the Egyptian people live below $2 a day. And people can't wait. They think that they have waited too much. So that is, I think, a very important and serious challenge. How to put the economy back on track and quickly. Fourth challenge, and most important, what we call, political scientists, SSR, security sector reform. Police had a very bad reputation, and I would say rightly so, but you need the police to establish a minimum of daily life. In many parts of Egypt, the streets are sometimes insecure. Lots of thugs have been released or escaped away from prisons. Police force is demoralized. Hence, the importance of security sector reform. I think I'll just limit myself to these 4 challenges. I think they are important for any case of transition. Again, in political science, we have a huge literature on transition to democracy, and we have nice jargon for it. We talk about transitology, and now we are talking also about consolidation of democracy, consolidology. Egypt is not yet in either case. Egypt reminds me very much of the first stage of a missile. It has been launched, but it needs the second stage, that is the navigation system. And I think many of the countries in the region, whether it is Libya, Yemen, Syria, Bahrain, Tunisia, I think they are going to face the same problems that Egypt is facing. So what takes place in Egypt is a sort of lab. It tells us what we can expect from the future, and hence it is very important to think about how we can not solve, but at least control these problems and put this country back on track. I was asked really not to speak very much. I didn't expect it to be a sort of round table and discussion, so I'll keep it light. But I hope that in the discussion, and certainly by the time we meet next year, the Arab Spring would have blossomed, that we have been really on track, and that we will talk much more about achievements and less about challenges. Not only for Egypt, not only for the Gulf, but for the whole region. I say inshallah, and I wish our meeting best of luck, and I thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kourani. Thought for food, ologies, a few ologies, and also navigation systems, rockets, a lot to think about and chew. May I now call on His Excellency Abdul Latif Zayani to address us. You don't have to go there, you can speak from here if you wish. So it's up to you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your Royal Highness,